If someone were to harm my family or a friend or somebody I love, I would eat them. I might end up in jail for 500 years, but I would eat them. If you love two people at the same time, choose the second. Because if you really love the first one, you wouldn't have fallen for the second. When kids hit 1 year old, it's like hanging out with a miniature drunk. You have to hold on to them. They bump into things. They laugh and cry. They urinate. They vomit. I don't think anybody's necessarily ready for death. You can only hope that when it approaches, you feel like you've said what you wanted to say. Nobody wants to go out in mid-sentence. One of the greatest pieces of advice I've ever gotten in my life was from my mom. When I was a little kid, there was a kid who was bugging me at school, and she said, "Okay, I'm gonna tell you what to do. If the kid's bugging you and puts his hands on you, you pick up the nearest rock." You can close your eyes to the things you don't want to see, but you can't close your heart to the things you don't want to feel. If there's any message, it is ultimately that it's okay to be different, that it's good to be different, that we should question ourselves before we pass judgment on someone who looks different, behaves different, talks different, is a different color. My daughter was asked by a little old lady at a London hotel restaurant what her daddy did. She answered, "He's a pirate." I was very proud of that answer. Growing old is unavoidable, but never growing up is possible. I believe you can retain certain things from your childhood if you protect them, certain traits, certain places where you don't let the world go. They stick you with those names, those labels, rebel or whatever they like to use. Because they need a label, they need a name. They need something to put the price tag on the back of. I made odd noises as a child. Just did weird things, like turn off light switches twice. I think my parents thought I had Tourette's syndrome. I've had the honor and the pleasure and gift of having known Elizabeth Taylor for a number of years. You know, you sit down with her, she slings hash, she sits there and cusses like a sailor, and she's hilarious. People say I make strange choices, but they're not strange for me. My sickness is that I'm fascinated by human behavior, by what's underneath the surface, by the worlds inside people. As a teenager, I was so insecure. I was the type of guy that never fitted in because he never dared to choose. I was convinced I had absolutely no talent at all. For nothing. And that thought took away all my ambition too. If there's any message to my work, it is ultimately that it's okay to be different, that it's good to be different, that we should question ourselves before we pass judgment on someone who looks different, behaves different, talks different, is a different color. I started out printing silkscreen t-shirts. I sold ink pens. I worked construction. I worked at a gas station. I pumped gas. I was a mechanic for a little bit. I went into sewers, down into sewer lines. I had a lot of somewhat unpleasant gigs for a time there. You grow up a bit damaged or broken, then you have some success, but you don't know how to feel good about the work you're doing or the life you're leading. I moved from Kentucky to Miramar, Florida, at about 8. I think I was in 2nd grade. I still had my southern accent, and down there, you got to experience a melting pot in full fury. All the kids I hung out with were, like, Sicilian kids from Jersey and New York. There's definitely healing properties to being in proximity to the ocean and that breeze. There's something about that Caribbean climate and humidity. I always wanted to be a character actor rather than the poster boy that they tried to make me 100 years ago. An actor has a degree of responsibility to change for the audience, to give them something new each time, to surprise and not bore them.